Hi, my name is Carolyn and welcome to my little cozy corner of the apartment. Today I'm gonna go through a bingo card that I made for this year. It's a hobby bingo card. In the past I've made this same kind of thing for reading with my best friend, which is really fun, like making all kinds of different prompts related to reading, but I wanted to shift the focus this year, in part inspired by Lena Norms, to make it a more general hobby bingo board. So Lena Norms right now, she's doing a second year of make do, where if she wants to add anything to her wardrobe, she needs to make it herself. So she's not even buying secondhand clothing, which I really respect. I'm not sure if I'm quite on that level of being able to do it, just with life being too hectic, but I really respect it. And I was inspired by her small bingo board that she made of different skills that she wanted to improve on last year. So that was why I wanted to do this. But I also wanted to make it a coloring page, as you can see. I guess spoilers for later in the video when I have my coloring time lapse, but the last reading bingo card I made was a coloring page and I really enjoyed that. So I'm gonna go through all of the prompts that I added onto my card. I'll show you the coloring process and then it's time to get working on the prompts. So the first prompt that I added was making socks for Dan, who's my partner. He really enjoys like a thicker pair of socks. I really enjoy making gifts, so I had to add that onto the bingo card. I've never knit socks before, and this is one of 2 sock related prompts. So maybe this will be a big sock year for me. We will see. The second one I added was making some living room storage for my crafts. So right now, my crafting stuff normally just ends up on the couch. It's a little hectic. I need like a good solid way to organize my project and just like a drop zone for all of my crafting supplies. So I really want to do that this year. I also want to do a more elaborate cable knit project. I explored cable knit a little bit in a beanie that I made for Dan for Christmas, but I wasn't following a pattern at all for that. I mean, I just made a big tube, so I added in cables because I was like, oh wait, cables aren't actually as hard as they seem. So I tried it out, I enjoyed it, I like the look of cables. I want to really do some cables this year. The next prompt I have is make pants or skirt, which the skirt part is me being generous to myself because ideally I really want to make a pair of pants that fits me perfectly. Like many people, I have a really hard time finding a pair of pants that fits me great. It's hard. So I want to perfect the pant, but I was being generous with myself when I made this, so I added in skirt because I like skirts too. So we'll see where that leads me. Next, I really want to do a needle felted project. A year ago, I made a mobile for my sister who had a baby. I'll add a picture here of that. And for that, I made a needle felted owl. And it was the first time I ever needle felted anything. And I'm really happy with how it turned out, but I really want to make a little needle felted critter for myself. Next, I have a reading related prompt, which is reading a chunky sci-fi or fantasy book. So I really enjoy reading those genres, but it's not something that like I always prioritize. I have a book club that I go to every month where we read books. They're like weird books, which are generally in the sci-fi or fantasy genres, but I really want to pick a really chunky book that has a ton of world building and really dive into it this year. The next thing I have on my card, I'm gonna make a cozy craft zone. So in my basement, I have this little craft area that I'm making, but it's a little depressing now. I never work down there because it's just sad looking. I don't wanna be there. I've made some attempt at making it a little bit cozier, just like with putting some curtains up. I'll put in a picture here so you can see, but like, it's still a basement. There's a lot of room for improvement. I wanna actually use that space this next year. It would be really nice if I could have it just be a permanent sewing place, so I can have my sewing machine permanently set up there. Next, I really want to make really cute stitch markers. So for Christmas, I got a lot of stitch markers, so this is probably a lower priority item, but I'd like to make stitch markers that have numbers on them, or maybe make stitch markers that look like my cat's, just like some really elaborate polymer clay stitch markers. I also want to make an advanced pop-up card. So it's really easy to make, like, I'll put a picture here, but like simpler pop-up card where it's just one element that pops up. But I want to make a pop-up card that unfurls into like a world, or like, I basically want to become a paper engineer this year. Someone I know is going to be lucky and is going to have a very, very cool pop-up card for their birthday. Next is probably my most ridiculous prompt I have on here, which is defeat yarn monster. I don't know about you, but I have this like collection of tangled yarn that I hate looking at, and I hate untangling, and I keep on putting off untangling it. This year is gonna be the year. I also really want to make a storage case for all of my knitting needles that I have. I recently got a really nice set of interchangeable needles, which I'm really excited to use, but I have a bunch of random needles that I've accumulated over the last year as I've been learning how to knit, and before I wanted to really invest in a nice set, and I want to make sure they have a home, because like, I'm still planning on using them, like they're good needles. Next, I started an embroidery last year to make a loth counter loaf?
I forget how it's called. Star Wars fans, I'm sorry.
This is for my friend who's a huge Star Wars fan, and I got like 20-30% through this embroidery project, and I brought it with me to work on while I was traveling to visit my sister, and then I just forgot about it. And it's just been sitting in a bag for like half a year, so I want to actually complete it. Next, I really want to go to the art museum near me in this next year and be that pretentious person who brings a sketchbook and draws what they see. Like, I want to be that person. It's happening this year. I also really want to embroider a piece of my clothing to just make it more interesting. So on my bingo card, you'll see that I drew, I don't know, some kind of weird duck emu whatever thing. I have no idea what it will be. I don't know if it will be that large, probably not, but I'll make some kind of embroidery on a piece of clothing to make it prettier. And then next is my next sock related prompt. I guess this column here is very sock centric, because I have knit socks for Dan and also knit Moomin socks. So in the last year, I saw this book that has all of these Moomin sock designs, and I saw it and I really wanted to buy it, but I was like, I don't know if I want to knit socks. Like, it was really going to be an impulse purchase, so I decided not to. It ended up as a high priority item on my holiday wish list, and I did receive it. So this year I will be going on my journey to Moomin socks. We'll see how that goes. I also really want to do a little pencil case makeover. So this last year I went on a trip to Tokyo and Seoul, which was so exciting, and as part of that I had to buy like a really cool pencil case, and I love the one that I got, but it looks kind of bland. It's just black, and I want to do something to like make it cuter. So I have no idea what that will involve. Like, will I do embroidery? Will I paint it? Do I want to do something that is permanent on it, or do I want to loosely attach something so if I hate it I can take it off? We'll see. I also am planning on doing a self-portrait this year. I haven't done this in a really long time. In like 2019, I did a self-portrait of myself, like in the style of the US Girls album in a poem Unlimited, which was really fun to make, but I want to do a self-portrait this year that's more than like a 2-second doodle on a piece of paper. I want to really like put in a couple hours at least to make something that I'm really proud of. I also, and this year, I want to have a little drawing moment in the park. This is something that I did a lot the year before last. I just bring my notebook and my pencils to the park and get drawing, and I want to do that again at least once. Next, I really want to explore screen printing. For my birthday, my sister gave me this vintage screen printing set. I've never done screen printing before, but I'm gonna try it out and see where that leads me. I may combine this with, I really want to buy a Brothers Scan & Cut cutting machine. So I may buy one of those and use my vintage screen printing machine to I'll combine those two into one project. I don't know if I'll do that because it's expensive to get one, but it would be really cool. And also I could use the Scan & Cut machine for my pop-up cards that I'm gonna make. So it could really enhance my crafting. Next, I want to catch up on my book club books. So like I mentioned, I go to a monthly book club, and this last year there were 2 months that I didn't go to the book club, but I bought the book and I never read the books, so I'm going to read them this year. And if I fall behind on the book club again, I'll tack those on to this prompt. I really want to do a granny square project this year. I've tried doing a granny square project in the past. I don't know if I've ever actually finished one that I've been happy with. I tried making a little headscarf and it was a weird size, so I never use it. I tried making a balaclava, also was a weird size. Both of those I didn't really use patterns. I looked at a video and was like, oh, that's easy. Tried making it and I was like, this looks awful. I hate it. And I think partially it was the yarn I was using. I want to give this another shot and make some kind of complete granny square project that I'm really proud of. I bought on a whim the DIY Daisy pattern book because I thought it would be really cool to explore patterning without wasting any fabric, because I have all of these little fabric bits and it's really annoying. Also last year I made 3 pairs of shorts using a short/pant pattern, which was way more complicated than anything in the DIY Daisy book. And all of them either have some kind of fit issue, I didn't finish, or just basically none of them are wearable. I like the general fit of the shorts, but I need to go in and either finish them off or fix them in some way. That needs to happen this year. And the last item on my bingo card for the year is embroidering a patch. So I don't know why I had this big revelation in the last year where I was like, I can make my own patches. Because I've bought so many just machine embroidered patches in the past. I really love them. They're a great addition to a piece of clothing, but I was like, I can make one myself and it can be anything. I made a patch for my friend. I made a patch that I put on my lab coat, and also a little egg patch that I put on my little Uniqlo bag. I really want to make another one this year. That's everything I added on my bingo card this year. Very exciting. Now I'll show you the color in time lapse that I'm very proud of. And that's really it for making my bingo card. Now it's time to actually start doing all of the prompts. So thank you for watching.
Quack, 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 quack.